can't figure out if I'm young or old. And before you scream out Wisconsin, Michigan, I'm not looking for feedback, especially not from this angle. Here's what I know. I mean, I am in fact the oldest that I've ever been, but I'm also the youngest I'll ever be. Someone said there's a really easy, quick way to figure this out. All you need to do is find a super crowded public place and fall down. And then you'll know, because like if people point and laugh, you're all good. If they come running with a concerned look on their face, though, you're in trouble. Please don't do that, though. You could, in fact, break a hip. And all too often, isn't that the beginning of the end? There has to be a safer, gentler way to figure this out, like questions that you can ask. Let me think. I know. Did you originally read the book 1984 as a futuristic cautionary tale? Do you use the US Postal Service to send and receive checks? When it's your birthday, are they no longer singing, "And many more"? Do you follow your friends on Facebook? It could be worse. The obituaries? A few years ago, I was in my mom's kitchen, and she, in fact, had an obituary on her refrigerator. So I said, "Oh, sweetie, did you lose a friend?" And she said, "Oh, no, I just like her haircut." Are you unable to date people who are older than you are because there simply aren't any? I think I might be old. I struggle so much with technology. Like, I'm horrible at social media. I can't ask people to follow me. When I was growing up, if you were followed, that was the last thing that anyone was ever going to hear about you alive, you know? The next installment would just be about where your body had been recovered. Another way to know if you're old is if you can ever remember being lost. Remember getting lost? It's kind of an old concept. I only want to be lost at 2 different times. I like to get lost in a book, and I love to get lost in Palm Springs, California. Big recommend. The directions you get are hilarious. Okay. Tell you what you're gonna do. First thing, you gotta go down on Lucille Ball. Ew. After that, you gotta turn on Frank Sinatra. Hope you don't get your kneecaps broke. From there, you're gonna get on Bob Hope. And you gotta stay on Bob Hope until you come to your hotel. No, we don't have to get lost anymore, thank goodness. We have road navigation apps, and I need those. Traffic has gotten so bad in Seattle. I feel lately like human trafficking would be easier to get out of. Another way to know if you're old is if you have old kids. Does anyone here have old kids? We have 4 children in their 20s, so you know what that means. We are always out of beer. And that's not even the worst part. The saddest part is that I'm now an obsolete mom. Please put me to work. If anyone here needs a ride home, or a snack, or anything, I have some perfectly good raisins in my purse. It's weird though, for you people with the older kids, you know how it goes. We have these bizarre conversations. Not too long ago, my oldest son said to me, "Stop treating me like I'm a baby," and "Hell yes, I want an Easter basket." There is nothing creepier that you will ever see than a hungover, bearded dude holding a sparkly basket of eggs in your living room first thing Easter Sunday morning. I think I would say, as a general rule of thumb, when you get to the place that like condoms and edibles and concert tickets start to feel like the right thing to be putting in the basket, might want to just go ahead and get rid of that basket, you know. I used to hate that expression, "I want to turn them in for younger models," but that's kind of where I'm at. I want to trade my kids in for younger, cuter, littler models, the kind that can't get away, you know, kind that wear galoshes with shorts. People always ask me and my husband if, in fact, we have grandchildren, and we tell them, in all honesty, we are trying. We travel all the time, and whenever we get to the airport, you might have noticed at the check-in kiosk, there's a little box you can check, and it says, "Add lap infant." I hit that thing every single time, and nobody has come by with a baby for me. I'm obsessed, and the reason why is that I do really, really well with little kids. Like, I soar socially with that group. Little kids and strangers for some reason. Like, what does that say about me? I guess to not know me is to love me. But that's a super hard group to break into. I mean, the more that I want kids, it's getting to be kind of desperate. Like, I'll sneak over to the park now and just gaze longingly at the little parcels of potential. Like a total psycho. I mean, if I see anyone else that looks like me at the park, I'm calling the police. Sometimes I feel like the only difference between me and those aforementioned psychos is our plans for later. I remember being in my 20s and thinking about all it was going to take to make a baby, and it's a lot, granted, but now, this time around, I have to find someone else that will do all of that stuff for me. It's a big ask. I mean, I would feel awkward asking you for your Hulu password, you know? Although I don't think that I should feel bad. I mean, what am I asking my kids? It's not like I'm asking them to do something that they weren't going to do anyhow, you know? And everyone knows moms love things that you make yourself. With stuff that's just laying around the house, and playing Xbox or something. And like I said, I mean, it's not like I'm taking them out of their normal set of plans. Like, if I were to call them up and say, "Hey, who wants to go to the Northwest Flower and Garden Show this weekend?" I mean, that's gonna get like the, "Oh, Mom, serious?" You know, but not if I'm asking them to raw dog the one they love. You guys are nasty. I like it. I know that my boys are in fact capable of commitment because they just got matching tattoos. Isn't that cute? Nowhere in the baby book for that special day. And don't worry, I'm not going to act like they vandalized something that I had worked really, really hard on because they said I can't. But let me just say, I know now how an architect must feel when one of his buildings gets tagged. I think that they just like buying something with their own money that they can't lose. And I get it. I mean, everybody has ink now. I know that it is like very, very cool and very, very common. But I don't think that I could do it because I'm Jewish. You guys believe that? I'm not even Jewish. I'm not even circumcised. No, it's actually a much more sinister reason. Anytime that I've tried to do something really hip in order to seem cool, it always backfires. And the reason is that I am a total cheapskate, and I always have to find the best deals on things. And there are just some times that you don't want to get the best deal on things. Don't you agree? You know, like LASIK eye surgery, or electrical work, or hot dogs, you know? The other day I saw a guy that ended up with no regurts on his forearm. That would be me. I would have total regurts. Especially after I found out about the return policy. I'm not anti-ink though. I mean, there is one group that I think should all have ink, and that is really, really old people. And not because their skin is like paper, which it is, but because they forget everything. And a lot of the stuff that they're forgetting is important, like sometimes medically important. Imagine your 89-year-old grandmother walking down the street with that 1-inch tall, goth, Kat Von D script that says DNR. Or you could do that really pretty calligraphy that says, if I've fallen, I can't get up. You could do checklists for stroke. You could do your kids' names and birth dates. My dad could have really used that. He could never remember our birthdays because we weren't boys. I know, let's say you didn't do the best job preparing for your retirement. You could sell ad space. When you have fallen on the sidewalk and broken your hip, that switch to Geico and save message could be getting literally hundreds of views. Don't knock it. I think a lot of us are going to have to get really, really creative if we hope to retire with any dignity at all. I've been researching some options. Let me share with you my favorite one. The other day, I read an article about a 68-year-old I can't hardly say it without laughing. A 68-year-old dominatrix who's been charging men $150 an hour to clean her house. Oh my gosh, who couldn't get comfortable with that kind of an arrangement, you know? I would retire tomorrow under those terms. I'm not gonna do it though, because nobody likes copycat energy. That's not cool. And I can't really do stilettos. They hurt my lower back. But the closest thing that I have come up with would be getting like 300 people to each pay $25 or $30 to listen to me just rant about whatever on a stage. So thank you, Mount Vernon, for